Good morning, everybody. Dr. Monica Vale here. I wanted to thank each and every one of you for popping on so we can learn about the Kick the Sick and how you can get lasting relief for your family and friends and everyone you know this spring, because this message should be shared to everybody. Today, I am going to be getting into the science behind the sick cycle, as well as why some people seem to be more prone to get sick than others. And the best part is I will tell you what you can do about it. So let's get started. So a little bit about Revival Chiropractic is there are two owners and doctors here. I am Dr. Monica Vale. I am pictured there on the right. On the left there is the wonderful other part of the dynamic duo is Dr. Anna Anderson. Our practice is quite unique in the fact that we specialize in pediatric, prenatal, and family wellness care. And with families in mind, we decided to do extra seminars, schooling, and learn a really gentle neurological technique. So there's no twisting, cracking, or popping. So it is super gentle and safe for anyone of all ages. The really great part too is that Dr. Anna and I have a team approach when it comes to how we care for families in our office. So we are equally involved with every care or the care of every person that comes in through our doors. So not only do you get the perspective of two doctors, but you get twice the brain power and twice the care to help you and your family function and feel your best. And even though chiropractic school is a thing of the past, we always tell people that we are proudly forever students. We love to constantly learn and develop and try new things in our office. We train with the best of the best pediatric and prenatal chiropractors in the country. We are also proud members in the National Wellness Foundation because we believe that when you create healthy families, that you create a healthy community, and that is something that we truly need. Also, we intentionally created a space that everyone in the family can come to and feel comfortable. From newborn babies to grandma and grandpa, this is an awesome space that people just really love and enjoy. Because we know that you are super busy. Life is crazy. And we wanted to have one spot that everyone could come and get care and feel great. Because that we know that when families are feeling and functioning their best, the potential for adventure and joy is endless. So let's dig into this because I know that time is precious and I want to get to the good stuff quick. This might sound familiar to you. Let me know if it does. So, you have a little one. You send them to school or daycare, and there's a little bit of a sniffle going around in their class. Well, of course, you pick your kid up from school, and they have a sniffle. But you can't catch a break because this is the child that gets every cough, cold, flu, strep, ear infection that is just going around. They get everything. Actually, within 50 miles, if there's someone that's sick, your child's probably going to get sick. You have spent countless dollars and time trying to find just the best thing to relieve their symptoms because they are miserable. You're stressed out because your child's super uncomfortable and you can't find an answer. So you are looking for 12-hour relief, 24-hour relief, symptom relievers, so cough suppressants. It helps with sore throat. It reduces fever. The list goes on. But you know that that drug will only help for a short period of time. You want answers for your kid, and you want your kid to be healthy, not another quick fix. So that is why this story is probably why you want to listen to this seminar. It is either you, your child, a family member, or a friend that you want to learn this information for, so that you can help them kick that sick for good and feel great again. So what if I told you that you can find relief for more than 12 hours at a time? What if I told you you could find it for longer than 24 hours at a time? What if there was a natural way that you could boost your immune system so that you could end the sick cycle? Doesn't that sound awesome? That is what we're going to cover today. There are steps that you can take to boost your body so that it can heal and thrive like it was intended to. It all comes down to adaptability. What on earth does that mean? So adaptability is the ability to adjust to new conditions. So this is primarily for the people that live here in Minnesota alongside us, is the weather that we had a couple weeks ago. So we had 60s and sunny, it was amazing, to a snowstorm, to rain, to 60s and sunny again, all within 5 days. That shift of weather required a lot of adaptability. But here's the thing. We all were exposed to that crazy weather whiplash. We all experienced it, but why is it only some people had such an intense reaction to it? Is it an issue with what we're around? Do some people just have good systems while other ones have bad? Why is it just that some kids constantly struggle with a sick cycle? From allergies, asthma, ear infections, congestion, cough, the list goes on. It all comes down to adaptability. There is no such thing as a good system or a bad system. Let's just start with that. It all has to do with our internal system's ability to adjust to those conditions internally. If it is truly an external problem, like weather or the change of season, then we would all have the constant sick cycle. But that's just not the case. So what causes some people to be more adaptable internally than others? That, my friends, is the nervous system. So our nervous system is the air traffic controller of our body. It controls every cell, organ, and tissue in our body. The role of the nervous system is to perceive the environment and coordinate the behavior of all the cells in our body. That is pretty amazing. But adaptability is impacted when the body perceives the environment but has trouble coordinating the cells within our body. If there's no coordination within the body, then the body can't behave the way that it was intended. So for instance, imagine if actual air traffic control at the airport decided to take the day off without telling anybody. What would happen at the airport? Absolute chaos. That's what happens with our body, which is why it's super important to have a really nice, balanced nervous system. So let's dig into that. Our nervous system has two sides. That first one is the sympathetic nervous system. So that is our gas pedal, or our fight or flight instinct. That is super, super important because let's say you were stuck in a room with a mountain lion. You would want your body to be able to give you as much adrenaline as possible and go into that protection and survival state. On the flip side, we have that parasympathetic nervous system, which is our nervous system's brake pedal. This is our resting, digesting, healing, growing, development stage. This is something that you want to have balance between the two. You don't want to be stuck on the gas pedal. You also don't want to be stuck on the brake pedal. Can you imagine if you were stuck in the room with a mountain lion and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, mountain lion. I have to go to the bathroom and digest my dinner, so you just need to wait a minute. No, that wouldn't end well. So we need a balance between the two because there are times in our life that we do need a little more adrenal response. So we need to respond to that stress a little bit more. And then there's times that we need to engage that brake pedal. But balance between the two is really, really ideal. So if balance is ideal, are people naturally balanced? Honestly, in today's society, we see more people stuck on that gas pedal because we live a super fast-paced life that it's hard for people to engage that brake pedal. And why is that? It's because of stress. And there's really 3 big branches of stress. It's our thoughts, our traumas, and toxins. So we'll start with the thoughts here. There's really a bunch of categories in this, but let's start with emotions. This could be from anger, sadness, worry, anxiety, just all those feelings that we have internally. We have our relationships. So this is with family, friends, your children, coworkers, just our dynamics every single day. The third one I'm going to go over is our self-talk and mindset. Honestly, this is a huge one. What we tell ourselves really impacts the chemicals that are internal within us. So we need to address how we talk to ourselves, speak positively to yourself, and try to focus on having a positive mindset, looking for the good things in each and every day. The fourth one I'm going to cover is something that is with this social media, like constantly being plugged in. A lot of people are constantly seeking validation, acceptance, or they're comparing themselves to other people that they see on social media. And that can really affect our self-talk and our thoughts about life and ourselves, and just having that constant comparison game going on. The second trauma, or the second stress I'm going to cover, is trauma. This is one that a lot of people can understand how that impacts our day-to-day life, because most of us have probably experienced a slip, a fall, an accident, and know how it can really impact our bodies and our health. The second part of that is our posture. So this isn't a huge trauma that results in injury, but it actually does impact our systems quite heavily. The way we carry our bodies and the posture that we have on a day-to-day basis actually changes the way that our bodies perceive the environment and changes what happens internally. So we are activating different parts of our nervous system with how we are carrying our bodies. The last trauma I am going to go over is birth and delivery experience. So how were you brought into this world? A lot of people think that this only applies to little kids. But if you had a birth trauma when you were born and you're now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, that birth trauma can still impact you. Because if you weren't able to recover properly from that neurological stress, then that's just going to carry through life. The third stress we're going to go over today is the toxins. So this is the chemical stress. So this is what we put on, around, or in our bodies. So around our body could be detergents, lotions, sprays. Around our body could be cleaners, aerosols, pollution. The third one of that is what we put in our bodies. So this is really our nutrition. So since we live a fast-paced lifestyle, we have needed our food to become quick, simple, and easy as well. So that means that the foods tend to be a little more processed, have preservatives and pesticides. It's also true that today we have a diet that is pretty heavy in sugar, gluten, and dairy. I'm not saying that everyone's going to have an issue with these, but these are things that can add more stress to our body when we're already stressed out. So I'm not saying that one of these things is going to tip the scales one way or another between the balance of the nervous system. But really, it's accumulation of things. It's like when you're making a recipe for a meal. You're adding things together to get this beautiful thing at the end. Well, stress isn't really that way. You are building a recipe for something not so great at the end. So the more stress that you're piling on to your life and your nervous system, the harder it is for your body to actually adapt and handle it. So we're making a recipe for the perfect storm of interference. So an interference that I'm talking about is a subluxation. This is when your brain and body can't communicate the way that it's intended, and it causes those scales to tip, so that you are stuck more on that gas pedal than you are that brake pedal. So let's give an example. Let's talk about the fuse box in your house. What is the purpose of that fuse box? It is to protect your home from any damage. So let's relate it back to Easter, since that was just last weekend here. So you're cooking dinner in your kitchen, you have every appliance going, and you're cooking. It's a great time. Well, all of a sudden you decide, oh, I need to plug in my blender. You plug in your blender, and that just does it. And you blow a fuse. Well, obviously you're not going to have any power to that area because the fuse is blown. So you need to go down to your fuse box and find the exact one and flip it back on so that you have power restored back to that part of the house. Well, our body has a similar mechanism. That's called a subluxation. When too much stress, like I just talked about, starts piling on, it'll overload a nerve. And when that happens, the body will produce a subluxation. This is a protective mechanism to keep it from harming the body. However, we need to get the power restored back to that area. How do you do that? You go to a chiropractor. Chiropractors are trained to find and correct over a period of time those subluxations so that energy and power are restored back to that part of your body, and that brain and body can communicate the way that it's supposed to so that you can heal. What happens if you don't remove the subluxation? Well, that's why we're here today talking about the sick cycle. Because if we don't remove those interferences, the brain and body can't perceive, well, the nervous system can't perceive the environment correctly, and then that coordination is really messed up. Well, it can't behave the way it's supposed to if it can't even get energy to the spot that it needs to give input to. When it can't do what it's supposed to do, our body gets even more stressed out, tipping the scales even more. So now the brake pedal isn't even an option, and we are just pedal to the metal all the time, and we are locked into that stress pattern, which isn't good. If you leave knowing one thing today, I want you to know that you can't be in growth and protection at the same time. That is why it is so imperative to get those subluxations found in your body so you can get out of that protection and survival mode, engage that brake pedal, and get into that growth, healing, development stage again. So you might be wondering, how does this play into the nervous system? Well, the nervous system is the air traffic controller of everything in our body. So if the nervous system is off, it's going to impact our immune system. So the body is now so focused on that stress phase because it thinks it's in survival and protection mode that it can't go into that growing, healing, developing mode anymore. So that is why the body focuses on that stress response instead of the sick response like it's supposed to, and we start that sick cycle. So the immune system has two sides to it. There's the attack system, which is that short-term, immediate response. This is honestly when people have the symptoms that make them feel really icky that they just want to get rid of, like the fever, the diarrhea, coughing, inflammation, ear infections, the list goes on. The second part of the immune system is that long-term response. So this is when the body can recognize and remember the invaders and the illnesses that it's seen before so it can respond appropriately. This is that long-term immune system. We're just going to deviate a smidgen here. I'm curious, what would you do? You are out camping with your family. You're going to take a nice long weekend. You are super excited. You start unpacking everything and realize that you did not pack any extra water for this weekend. But you see that there's a creek nearby. What would you do? Would you just take all the extra water bottles you brought and just dip them in the creek and drink the water right out of the creek? Probably not. What would you do? Most people would boil it first. Why do you boil it? It's to kill off any bugs in there that might get you sick. Well, that's interesting. So that wasn't just a random camping 101 lesson here. We boil the water from the creek to kill off any bugs that could get us sick. Well, that's the exact same purpose of the fever. The purpose of the fever is to raise the temperature of the body so that it kills off any bugs that it can to keep us from getting sick. If that's the purpose it's serving, is it a bad thing? Why is it so common that people want to lower the fever if that's the purpose it's serving? Well, here's the thing. All of the symptoms that we experience, especially in that attack phase, are messages from our body. Our body is extremely intelligent, and it's trying to protect itself and keep it healthy. These symptoms are not bad. These symptoms are a sign of health. You are expressing health because your body is naturally trying to respond and get rid of these invaders without the need for other things. So like I said, the purpose of the fever is to raise that temperature of the bugs and get them out of there. The next one is coughing. That gets the invaders out quick. Congestion and inflammation traps the bugs in a certain area so it doesn't go elsewhere in the body. Diarrhea gets it out quickly. But here's the thing. The memory system can only get better and stronger and respond quickly to things if the attack phase is able to run through the motions. So the sought-after 12 and 24-hour relief items at the drugstore are reducing those symptoms that are critical in the attack phase. Those drugs do not boost our immune system or make us healthier faster. The only thing they do is suppress our body's natural healthy response, and it reduces our immune system even further. We know that those things are sought out in good intention because no one likes to feel miserable, and it's super stressful and hard to watch your kiddo be uncomfortable. But if the body can't properly attack like it's intended, then the memory response can never be developed, and that just further reduces our immune system. So the nervous system needs to be balanced between that brake pedal and the gas pedal, not stuck on either one or on either side. The immune system needs to have a balance between activating that attack response and growing that memory response. Both systems need to be in a state of balance. If the immune system is off, where you're not allowing that attack phase to happen, well, then that memory response is going to be diminished as well. The nervous system needs to be balanced between the two, or you're in that stress response and the body doesn't care that you're going through a sick cycle because it needs to protect itself. So that is when the sick cycles set in, with the constant coughs, colds, fevers, ear infections, allergies, you name it. It all has to do with an internal imbalance. Your body is no longer adaptable. So one of the biggest questions we get is, why is it my family? Why are we the ones constantly sick? Why is my child picking up every cough, cold, sniffle, you name it? Why? Well, two big reasons. It has to do with those interventions. So even though it was with a good intention to get the medications, the steroids, the suppressants, they're not always necessary. So when our body has these things, it inhibits that attack response like we talked about. So then the body can't respond the way it needs to. Well, that honestly just prolongs the illness. And it can't work like it's intended because the memory response now isn't being activated. So then if it gets in contact with that same sniffle that your kid got before, well, your body doesn't remember that it ever had it. So you're constantly picking up the same bugs and you can never build and strengthen that immune system. The second response is from those interventions as well. So if your kid had an ear infection, you likely got antibiotics. Well, hopefully that antibiotic got rid of the infection. But it also got rid of your body's good bacteria too. 70% of the immune system is in the gut. So those antibiotics wiped out the infection and your good probiotics. Well, without those good bugs in our body, we're now susceptible to more sickness than we were before. Well, the second reason families are constantly sick is low adaptability. It's that nervous system imbalance, which creates an immune system imbalance. So we are stuck on that gas pedal and we aren't able to engage the attack system or build the memory system. So now now we can't do what we are intended to do, and that's heal ourselves. Now, you're probably wondering, why is a chiropractor telling me this? Well, chiropractors are doctors of the nervous system. We are trained to find the subluxation, correct it over a period of time, so that the body can heal and thrive the way it was intended. Adjustments are powerful. They're not just relaxing and awesome, but they have a huge impact on the body as well. So when you get adjusted, it boosts your immune function by 48% after the adjustment. It also increases the chemical messengers in the body. It removes built-up stress and tension in the body. Who doesn't need more of that? And the best part is it increases the adaptability of our bodies. So adjustments balance that nervous system, which balances the immune system. When the brain and body can communicate like it's supposed to, and energy is restored to the body, the foot comes off that gas pedal and can slowly engage that brake pedal. This allows the immune system to get the correct input. The body can then coordinate and behave the way it was intended to, which is so awesome. So we've gotten asked, if I get adjusted, are you telling me I'm never going to get sick again? I wish that we were magic genies like that, but we do not have that kind of power. But one thing I will tell you is that adjustments are powerful. When little ones and families come into our office where they feel like they're coming down with something, they have like the scratchy throat, or they're starting to get the sniffles, or they're in the thick of it, they are super under the weather, that is the best time to come in and get adjusted. Most people, when they come in to get adjusted, kind of have a little hesitation because they don't want to get other people sick. But here's the thing. In our office, we have some highly adaptable, balanced people. So we need you to honor your body and give it the support it needs at that time, which is an adjustment. When people come in when they're not feeling the greatest, we hear that their child had one day of super intense symptoms. So they spiked a fever, they got diarrhea, and had booger goo like a faucet was running. But that attack system wasn't interfered with. The parents didn't go home and find the 12-hour and 24-hour relief. They let their body run the course. The attack system was engaged, and they were able to kick the sick the next day. That's amazing. We also hear from parents that came in when they were in the thick of their congestion, a sinus infection, a cough that they've had for months. Well, they were able to kick it faster than they ever have, ever. That's pretty amazing. This means that the more time when you come in and get adjusted, that's more time with your family. That's more time that you don't have to worry about missing work. You can be happy and healthy together and spend less time being sick, which means less time perusing the drugstore aisles, because no one wants that. When our nervous systems are balanced and strong, then the immune system is naturally boosted. Now, since the air traffic controller, that nervous system, can coordinate and behave properly, well, then that's how we increase our adaptability. It's beautiful. Now, here's the meat and potatoes of the talk. What can you actually do to balance your system and become more adaptable? Let's dig into it. The first one is lowering those chemical stressors. So this one really isn't fun for a lot of people because no one wants to watch what they're putting on, around, or in our bodies, but this is really critical. So we need to be mindful of what we're eating. So take a spring break from gluten, dairy, sugar, and soy, especially if you are under the weather or feel like you're about to come down with something. These foods are just known to create inflammation in our body, so we want our body to focus on kicking the sick instead of kicking the inflammation that we're bringing in. The next one is nutritional supplements. So supplements are your friend. Vitamin C is a great one. It is an antioxidant and a natural immune booster. Vitamin D is an immune booster and is really critical, especially if you live here in Minnesota with us. We just don't get a lot of natural sunlight, so this is really critical. A lot of people are quite deficient in vitamin D. A really good one is also fish oil. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. And the most important one, I would say, is probiotics, especially if you just had a course of antibiotics. As I mentioned before, those antibiotics got rid of the infection, but they also got rid of your good tummy bugs. So we want to work to restore those good probiotics so that your body can have the proper immune function that it needs from your gut. The third one is those emotional stressors. So we just need more positivity, and just be intentional about your mindset and creating that positivity in your life, as well as taking time to pause. With our fast-paced lifestyle, we're constantly plugged in, constantly running somewhere. It is just super, super challenging to just find some peace and time. So just taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever you can spare, just do nothing. Focus on your breath, reading a book. Just do something that doesn't require this like constant go, 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 high stress thing. We just need more calm, pause, and relaxation in our life. The fourth one is yoga and mindful movement. So this could be running, going for a walk, riding your bike, whatever feels good to you. We are big advocates of yoga in our office. Yoga not only opens our posture, because most of us are sitting at a desk all day, so we're hunched over and crunching down on a computer, on our tablet, on our phone. Well, this will open up our chest. Yoga is really good about opening things up, and it improves our posture. Yoga is also something that we really advocate for, especially if your kiddo has troubles with coughing, chest congestion, or asthma, because with a lot of those, they're hunching in and it creates a lot of tightness in their chest, back, and ribs. And we want those to be open so they can move and they can breathe without feeling constricted. Well, the last and probably the easiest step is to come in and get scanned. The only way that we can be certain that this is the missing link for you and your family or your loved one is for us to have an opportunity to scan them. So when you come in, we will understand the 3 T's or the stresses that are happening in your life. And the scan shows where the stress and tension is stuck in your body. It'll also tell us how balanced your immune system is, because it'll tell us how balanced your nervous system is. These scans are super safe and gentle. Nothing goes in your body or is taken from your body. And we can do them on anyone from hours-old babies, from pregnant women, through elderly. It's really a powerful tool. So to close this out, at Revival, we believe that every person deserves to have their nervous system checked, at least once. We all have had our eyes, ears, teeth, blood pressure checked, but how many people can say that they've truly had their nervous system checked? We are passionate about creating healthy families, and we want to give you a special opportunity for being so dedicated to learning how to kick the sick for you and your family. This is something that we offer to the people at our workshop today, and we just want to continue that or outreach that offer to you because you're sitting here watching this too. That's really amazing, and we appreciate that. So we are providing the opportunity for you, your child, or your whole family to come in and get scanned. Well, when you come in, we're going to take your health history. We're going to learn about the 3 T's in your life. We're going to see how they're playing a role in your life. And most importantly, we're going to check the adaptability and balance of your nervous system so we can help you live life to the fullest again and kick that sick cycle for good. Well, this opportunity is available to you. We would love for you to come in at our VIP price, which is half off. So if that's something that you really want to take advantage of, we would love to just see if this has been that missing link for you and your family. Because if it has, how powerful would that be to have your health back? To have your child not feel constantly sick all the time, or you have to miss work, or your child has to miss school. How much opportunity does that give you to have time spent with your family without feeling sick? I feel like that's invaluable. So we would love to extend that to you so that we can help you live life to the fullest, because we know how important time is. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, give us a phone call, send us a message on Facebook. There are so many ways to reach out to us. We are here to be a resource for you. So if you have some further questions before you want to take that next step, do not hesitate. We are always here for you. So I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for watching this today. I know it was a smidge longer than I anticipated, but this is really important information. We would love it if you could send a little comment, or if you know someone that really, really needs this message, send this video their way. This is something that we hear so many families ask, why didn't anyone tell me this sooner? Well, here's your chance to be that person that knows something before somebody else, because that always feels good. But please help spread the word. We are so excited to help your family kick the sick, and I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of their weekend. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Take care.